Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving deep into the postmortem of Namco's Katamari Damacy, a game that redefined quirky and fun 20 years ago. Let's roll.
I'm stoked. This is a classic. So, what were the core design choices that made Katamari Damacy so unique?
Well, the premise itself is utterly bonkers. A tiny prince tasked with rolling up the universe to replace the stars his dad destroyed. The core gameplay is deceptively simple. You just roll a ball, collecting increasingly larger objects. But the genius lies in the execution.
Right, the sheer scale is amazing. Going from rolling up marbles to a giant squid, that's a wild progression. How did they manage that?
They meticulously planned object placement and scaling. It wasn't all pre-planned though. A lot of it was trial and error, figuring out what worked within the game's engine and memory limitations. I even had to consider how long it would take players to reach the target size for each level.
Interesting. And the lack of power-ups? That's a bold choice in a genre often saturated with them.
Exactly. They intentionally avoided power-ups to maintain the pure, simple joy of rolling and growing. They considered adding specific objectives, but ultimately decided against it, fearing it would overshadow the core mechanic of increasing the Katamari's size.
That's brilliant. It kept the focus laser sharp. But what about the technical aspects? The rolling itself must have been tricky to implement.
Oh, absolutely. They focused on the haptic feedback and sound effects to enhance the feeling of rolling. They even incorporated combo elements, rewarding players with visual flair for consecutive pickups. It's all about those subtle details.
I see. The postmortem also mentions some challenges, right? Like the camera and the potential for motion sickness?
Yeah, the camera was a limitation. They wanted to emphasize the scale, but the automatic zoom out sometimes caused issues. They also struggled with the crumbling mechanic. The idea that the Katamari could shrink if it hit something too big. It proved too technically difficult to implement smoothly.
That's a shame. It sounds like a cool feature. And what about the music? The postmortem mentions a unique approach there, too.
The music is legendary. The sound director, Yu Miyake, had incredible creative freedom. He even incorporated his own humming into the title sequence. He also used a diverse range of vocalists to broaden the appeal, creating a soundtrack that's both memorable and perfectly complements the game's unique atmosphere.
Amazing. So overall, what's the biggest takeaway from this postmortem?
The power of simplicity and originality. Katamari Damacy succeeded because it dared to be different, focusing on a unique core mechanic and avoiding unnecessary complexities. It's a testament to the fact that sometimes the most memorable games are the ones that break the mold.
Absolutely. A truly inspiring story of game design. Thanks for breaking it down for us.
My pleasure. And that's all the time we have for today's Tech Bytes and News. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.